And so it was antiquated. It didn't really fit the needs that we were using. And then when COVID hit, we definitely knew that we needed something to make it a lot easier for everybody. We also knew that our data was very old. So old, in fact, that many people, when you look at your profiles, you may have adult children and grandchildren, and yet your adult children are still noted as children that live in your home. Or there was a lot of duplicates, maybe people who grew up here and then got married, that they were then entered as as another parishioner, rather than just their married name taken over and continue to serve. So there was a lot of data cleanup that we had to do. I mentioned it during the last parish leadership night that we realized too, when COVID hit and we started to do, and I know a couple of you did these, but when we started to do the connect calls, I mean, there were numbers on there that had all been disconnected and emails that were on there that didn't exist anymore because people never really thought of updating the church with their contact information because they just come to church. They don't, think about us needing to really contact them on a regular basis. So I did start looking into different things. In my former life, I was a salesperson, business development manager. And so I had used and been involved with customer relationship management tools. And actually in my former company had kind of worked out our customer relationship data management base probably about 6 or 7 different times because I was there for 20 years. So I had a lot of experience with cloud-based CRMs and stumbled across this company that had been working with churches for probably about 5 or 6 years and exclusively work with churches. And then they had decided to start reaching into the Catholic market. And so we are one of their probably 20 or so new Catholic churches. They used to only work in the Protestant and megachurch scene. So there's a lot of things in the system that are still being adopted or worked out in the Catholic world. Like, for example, we worked with them on sacraments and how important it is for the Catholic Church to track sacraments and to note sacraments, whereas other Protestant religions don't necessarily do that. And there isn't like a succession. There's not even in some cases, actual sacramental. So, we've been working with them for almost a year now in getting it all up and running. It took about 6 months just to go through the data and clean it as best as we could. And then we started using it internally with faith formation first, and then we decided to roll it out to the rest of the parish a few months ago. So most of you guys are going to be using it primarily for noting your liturgical schedule, but you will also be able to communicate within it. Within your groups, you'll be able to see open positions. If you're not serving for a particular weekend, you might be able to see, oh, so-and-so is canceled, and now I can go ahead and be a reader for that particular weekend. And there's a lot of different other things. We're starting to use it for events. We've been using it obviously for the online giving for probably almost in February it'll be a year. So there's a lot of different things that are there. But I'm going to share my screen here real quick. And I'm going to first go to Safari here. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let me first go to where you'll find it. Can you still see our St. Walter Church regular website?
Yes.
Okay. So I've put a little button here on the home page, right here on the left-hand side, right underneath our mass schedules, where you can log in from the website, from our regular website. And that will then immediately take you to the login page. You can stay logged in for up to 30 days if you want, or you can log out each time. It does not matter. You can also connect and look at events even if you're not logged in. But I think if you're logged in, it's probably the best way to do it. Very simple. Like I said, I'm going to log in as my son, Joe, because if I log in as myself, I'll show you real quickly the difference after we're done here real quick. But here's the home page first and foremost. Whoops, it's going to make me sign back in because I was signed up for too long. Okay, so immediately it takes you to the homepage and the welcome. It will show some recent activity that you may have done. It will show messages that you may have sent or messages that you have received. And it will even show some of the forms, like for example, the liturgical ministry availability for the for when you may not be able to attend and maybe serve. Or some of these are based on Joe's groups. That's why he sees some of these. But again, you know, if you want to become, if they aren't a member already, but there's our Joyful Disciple membership form. If you see something on campus that you think needs to be repaired, there's another little repair request form that we have started to create some things where we're doing repairs around there. So that's just in the forms area. But you're serving, that's your biggest point of use, I think. So Joe is an usher, normally at the 9 a.m. Mass every other week. And he has, so upcoming right now, he only has on the schedule for Christmas Day. And that's what you're seeing here, right here. If he would like to see open positions, he just clicks on the browse open positions thing there. And I just need to minimize that to get out of the way. And now there's availability for all the different ministries that's coming up, that there may be opportunities. Now, obviously, if he's not a lector, he's not going to log in as a lector or say, I'm going to take that. He's mainly going to be looking at ushers because that's what he does. But there are many people that do multiple ministries. And so you have the opportunity to see, okay, I'm going to be at Mass on Christmas Eve at 3 p.m. That looks like they may need some more EMHCs. So there you go, you've got that. Let's say, for example, though, that Joe does want to go ahead and take a usher position on the 31st. Okay, so you can click on it and you can either take that opportunity here, you can view the schedule, you can send a message to the scheduler, and that will actually send it to Francis or myself, or you can just highlight it here real quick by just putting your mouse over and quickly take it. Okay, so now when you look at his assignments, now it's showing the two different masses. Now, say for example, which I'm going to decline this because he'll probably kill me, he does not want to minister on New Year's Eve. You can put in a reason if you want, or you can just click decline and it will take that as declined. So now you'll see some of the things that he has declined as well. You can have this all just as anything that's pending. So for example, when Linda Newtek is setting up the schedule, everybody initially is pending until they accept it. But other schedules, like the holy days that I have out there, I have it set up so that when you go onto our website and you say, okay, I'm going to serve, you yourself are taking that position. So you know you're going to accept it. You know your own availability. So I have it set up so that it will automatically accept. It won't go through a pending stage, that it sends you an email and saying that you're going to potentially serve there. The same goes into effect when you're browsing open positions. That automatically is going to accept you. It doesn't send you a message that says, oh, are you sure? Because, that is silly. You already know what you're doing. So say, for example, too, now Joe maybe is not able to do Christmas Day. Let's say, for example, he can decline his request automatically. He can try to find a replacement. He can swap with somebody if he has verbally talked to them. Or he can just send a message again to the scheduler that sends it to, I was the only one, I think, that made this schedule. And so he can send a message to me directly. Hey, I'm not able to do this. Now, some people have been doing this where they are sending a message saying, I've talked to Joe Doe, John Doe, or something like that, and he's going to take my spot. That's fine too. You can do that, and then I can go into the system and make that switch for you. So that's pretty easy too. If you have multiple family members that are attached that serve, Joe's technically, he's not a child, but he is because he still lives under my roof. He is listed as a child in my home. He is mine, but he's an adult now. So he can only see himself. But if you are like a primary or a spouse, you can see everybody's serving if they have multiple that are there. There are ways too that you can check in, from the parish app on our website. So the parish app also ties into this system. And it's kind of nice to be able to even see it on your phone. That's really how Joe uses it, for example. He never goes on a computer. He uses it mainly on his phone. You can see, though, here's some of the groups that he's involved with. And if there are specific needs that groups may have, like say, for example, he's a part of the St. Walter School alum. If they put a need out or for an alumni event, or they have a particular thing that they want alumni to be a part of, that would show up then under those particular groups and show specific needs that are there. There's also ways to communicate within your groups. So you can click on this, start a new mail. It's called a mail merge, but it's really just a message. So I was going to do this as just to show everybody, but can I need a sub. So someone help. I will be out of town this weekend. Sub for me. Okay. You can add attachments if you need to add attachments, like say, for example, you're doing a particular group thing and you need to send attachments, you can do that. Then you choose on the choose recipients. You can do just by individual names. Like if you know you are talking with John Doe, for example, you can do that. But I'm going to do from the group, and I'm going to say ushers. Okay. And that is going to send this, that adds it. Here's all the ushers. And if you click send, it's going to say, do you want this? Can someone help? It has an email version. Yes. You don't necessarily need to have it as the print version. And you certainly don't need to export it as a CSV file. I think that's more reporting and stuff. So now that just sent an email to 26 ushers asking if somebody can help, because he will be out of town this weekend and he did forget to find a replacement. because he is a 22-year-old kid. But anyway, so these are the groups that he's responsible or attached to right now. You may have more, you may only have a couple. We are currently in the process of updating a lot of different groups as people who are a part of them so that they can communicate within their groups. So if you do go on your own site and you see that you're not included in some of the groups that you may be a part of, just let me know and we can go ahead and get you set up there. This is kind of nice. It shows also what your giving is. If you do giving either via envelope or online, it shows, whatever giving that you have as up to date as the weekend prior. And then at the end of the year, you can actually generate your own giving statement. You don't have to wait for that to be mailed or emailed from us anymore. You can do that yourself. I know a lot of people call here on a very regular basis and like January 2nd, wondering when they're going to get their giving statement because they want to do their taxes. So you can kind of do that on your own. So there's that. I was trying to figure out where it is. Oh, okay. So somebody did ask me this the other day. This is under my serving, and if you want to do blockout dates, so this can show you, specific, if you do specific masses, if you only like to serve on Sunday masses, you can certainly do that. But it will show too what your availability, like his is as often as he needed. But if there are blackout dates that you want to input in there, you can certainly do that. And the reason that you would want to do that is like you're going on vacation. You may have forgotten to let Linda New Tech know about that. And it's in January. You can go ahead and block those out. And then when she tries to schedule you, that will actually pop up a message to her saying that this person is unavailable. So, okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. At one point, you were at the point where it was looking for availability of
browsing open positions. Yes.
It seemed to be one of the choices was to view the schedule.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Someone keeps bringing. Okay. So you can look at a particular day that's coming up. So say, for example, you want to look at what the schedule looks like for the 10th. You can click on that and it shows everybody who is currently scheduled for that particular mass for 5 p.m.
Okay. Is there any way to see, as a lector, let's say, the whole December schedule?
Not yet.
Okay.
I actually just sent the PushPay people an email this today because you're not the first person. Actually, my son said to me just last weekend, hey, I went online and I would like to look at the whole month of December under the ushers calendar. There is a calendar. Why can't I see anything? And I said, that's a good question. So I think I sent them an email and to ask if that's at all possible to import all of that into the either group calendars for each. So lectors, when you're a lector, you have a particular group calendar. So you're in the groups here again, and ushers. You have a calendar. Now, obviously, there's nothing on this one, but it would be nice to put all of the ushers on all of these so that if, for example, Joe knows, oh, Tony Newtek is not working or not volunteering on the day that I can't make it, I'll just reach out to Tony instead of sending it to everybody.
Yeah, would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be one of the most useful things. I've been looking for that very thing
Yes, it would be
since this all
very
started.
useful. So I looked through their site. They have a very good, question answer type of find site, which you should be able to do anything that you have any support. If you click on this, you can type in whatever you want. Most of the time you can find the answers, and they have videos and all sorts of things that way. If you do want to do it that way, they did not have anything on that in particular, so that's why I sent them an email. So if you find something that you really just can't figure out, you can always email myself, or you can always send an email. Francis is starting to come on board with it and really liking it. It's taken me a while to get staff to even be using it, but now that they really do like it a lot. So either you can ask myself, Francis, or Tanya Nowakowski. Tanya knows it really well because she set up all the faith formation side of it, and they're using it for, classroom check-in. They're using it for all sorts of things that we're not using it just yet. So she knows it very well.
Is there, since Mary McMillan, she's been able, at our request, send us the whole schedule for the lectors. If she can get it, can't that just be posted even as a PDF, just at the beginning of the month, so that we can just click on it and see it ourselves without having to go through Mary to get it?
So the PDF of the entire month is sent to all of the ministry, the liturgical ministry coordinators.
Mhm.
So she can give that to you, and she should be giving that to you on a monthly basis. The problem, Tom, though, is once it's printed as a PDF, as you know, it now is outdated. It's like a car. The second you drive it off the lot, it's outdated. So because if that goes out and then an hour later, Linda has to update it, update one of the schedules, which happens all the time. And especially now that more people are using this on their own, we don't even necessarily always know that, somebody has swapped spots. So we'd have to be printing a PDF like every day and uploading it onto the website.
Okay, it's still useful to me if there's a date on it. This is the first of the month. At least it's a starting point, because
Right. And Mary can send, and we'll be continuing to send that.
Okay.
Because
right.
not everybody is comfortable using a system. We understand that. There's still people that don't even email.
I get that. I just thought if it's available somewhere, I'd like
Yeah.
to see it too, but I could see why you have a reason for not putting it out there, and yet that's the most useful information I could get out of this. But I understand what you're doing. It just would take a lot more work on our part to go look at each week individually, see who's on, if we're looking for a sub, instead of having a schedule.
Right. So
most likely the person hasn't switched, but they could have.
The hope is that I can get it imported into group calendars.
Okay.
That's the dream.
All right.
If not, we're just going to have to continue to use the PDF version. And again, that is going to be continued to be sent to the ministry coordinators. And I know that Mary sends it out, because I know Jerry sends it out. So
she does. It's just sometimes it's she's been busy, and it's 2 days before the month changes, where I'd like to look at it 2 weeks ahead. Or we used to, years ago, we had 3 months worth to look at. Sometimes we'd actually make swaps going back and forth that far.
Yeah, Linda's only doing them a month at a time. So there's not 3 months worth right now. That doesn't
Okay,
mean that
that's fine.
she won't eventually get back to that, but right now she's doing month by month. So
Okay,
So can I ask, so what is
Yep.
the cutoff, what is the cutoff time for the next schedule? Like we have December right now.
Right.
So when is January being processed or in the work right now? Or
she is
do-
working on January now, yes.
So any blackout dates should have probably been done already for January.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that
When do we know that? How do
communicated
I
that
know?
already.
How do I know that? What is the blackout date? What are the time before the final schedule is made, you know?
So she's still using that card, or you can email her, or you can use the system here, either one.
I can email her directly then.
Sure, or you
Okay,
could go
or
into
the
the
system.
thing where I just showed you and block yourself off. Right, so you just click on the little gear here. And now you can list your blackout dates. You can go as far as you want. You can block
That's good.
yourself off all the way into, looks like 2024.
Thank you.
Okay, I think my,
That's good.
I have 4 minutes left on my Zoom here. Does anybody else have any questions?
That was really helpful
Yeah.
for me.
You know what? It looks scary. This is the thing that I said at leadership night. It looks scary because it's different. There's nothing you can break at all. So don't worry about that. And, you know, you can go in and you can search for, you know, different people. You can look for yourself, you know, obviously, if I type in Joe Machowski, you can see what your own profile looks like. Not everybody sees everybody's information. This is him. He's looking at his own. So it shows all this information, shows who he's tied to and everything else. If he goes to look for, you know, Lauren, for example, this is what he would see. Just basic information.
Oh, look, I have 3 children still at home.
You still do. Look at that.
The baby's 38.
Congrats.
Exactly. See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of stuff is
Yeah.
pretty.
Well, thanks a lot, Julie. And I just want to make a comment that on the app, it was a little bit challenging to know if you signed up for a particular lectern, whether you were the first or second reader. And I notice under the schedule now, it does, when you can get to that schedule, it does show you in an order, top to bottom. I'm assuming that if you're on top, you're number 1, bottom number 2. So it was really just getting that order of lecturing when you signed up for it. So I love the blackout dates. That's going to be great to jump ahead. And certainly I'm much like your son. I try to use the app a little bit more than I do on the website, but I'm going to dig into what you just covered. So thank you again.
You're welcome. Yeah, just play around because it's not scary. I mean, it's scary in the beginning. And you know, the other thing that I reminded everybody is not, remember how everybody complained when you had to email? And now email is no longer for the most part. So it's good. It'll be good.
So the scheduler will decide who's lecture number 1 versus who is lecture number 2.
Yeah, so basically Linda, whoever she puts in first, that's who's going to be lecturer number 1.
But on the days that it's an open slots, it's first come, first served. So first one that signs up is usually lecture number 1.
Yep.
If you sign up for the second, if you're the second, then it's automatically you're for the second lecture.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because I said something about, should we, do it a little bit differently? And they said, this is how it's worked forever, so just let it go. Okay. I'm not gonna hang up on anybody, but it might hang up on you because I'm getting close to the
Yeah, see that.
time.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you, Julie. I gotta go.
Thank you.
Okay, if you have any
Thank you.
questions, just call me, email me, do all the things.
Thanks
All
thanks for
right.
your help.
Okay, take care.
Thanks, Julie.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.